I dubbed 2021 the year of the series. Everybody's doing it. I'm jumping on the bandwagon. Let's go. Hey y'all, this is Tasha. Welcome back to Amazing Reads. Today I am here to do series continuations I'm excited for that come out this year. Y'all know I love series. I've talked about it in other videos. There's so many series that are completing this year. Duology's finishing up. There are romance series that are continuing, and I am just so excited for these books. I have 9 on my list. Some of them are duologies. Some of them are series enders. I'm just super excited. So some of them I need to read the book before this one that comes out. But these are books that are continued series that I'm either caught up in or almost caught up in that I want to finish. So without further ado, the first one that I have is Sands of Aria by Hafsah Faizal. The first one in that book is We Hunt the Flame. This is I want to say it's Middle Eastern fantasy that follows a girl who's known as a hunter. She goes into these woods and she shouldn't be able to try to feed her people. It's been a while since I read it. I want to reread this. The book that's coming out that ends this duology is Free the Stars. It comes out on the 19th. It's pre-ordered. It is on its way to me. And this is just going to end this. I really enjoyed this first book. I think this book is severely underrated when it comes to YA fantasies. What I like about this book is that the pacing is not breakneck. So it doesn't just take off and we're just trying to run behind it. It's very steadily paced. The characters are very interesting. We follow the hunter and then we follow the son of this terrible ruler who is known as the assassin, and he's after the hunter, and it's just angsty. Stuff happens. It's interesting. There's all this other backbiting and stuff that happens that just listen. I believe I'm going to attempt to do a reading vlog on this and read for the stars on this duology here pretty soon. As soon as my copy gets here, I'm going to figure out how to work it in there. So look for that vlog to come or that review, whichever one I decide to do. Things have been a little nuts, so I will let y'all know. But this is the first series, The Sands of Aria. Probably not saying that right. By Hafsah Faizal, that finishes up on January 19th with We Free the Stars. And this is the first one that I'm excited to get to. The next one is the end of a trilogy. I've read the first 2 in this one, and it's The Nightmare Verse by L.L. McKinney, starting with A Blade So Black. This is an Alice in Wonderland retelling that stars a black bisexual main character. The mama in this is like every black mama. Like, there's something universal about black mamas, and that's what she's like. We follow her, the romance between, the tension between her and Hadda is amazing. It's interesting. The metaphors are interesting. The first 2 books I really did enjoy. The first one more so than the second one. I'm very curious to see how this ends because I thought it was only going to be 2 books, so that makes me excited. This also, the final book, which is called A Crown So Cursed, comes out on January 19th. I'm looking down at my notebook, and so I'm super duper excited. This is a very divisive book for people. Some people love it, some people hate it. I happen to be in the camp that loves it and loves this trilogy and can't wait for it to end, and I am so ready to read that last book and to get my hands on a copy of the second book, which I just haven't got it yet. I got it from the library, and have this complete trilogy on my shelf so I can recommend this to people who are looking for fantasy, black main character, urban, set in Atlanta. Listen, please give it a try. I really did like this a whole lot. So A Blade So Black, the Nightmare Verse trilogy ends on January 19th, so go ahead and pick that up. The next book is the Richard Sisters series by Cheris Hodges. The first book being Owner of a Broken Heart. This follows a sports writer who has a run-in with the biggest rival of her family's B&B. They fall in love. It's cute. It's black love. I love it. The second book in this series is Won't Go Home Without You. It comes out on January 26th. I do have an advanced reader copy of it that I do plan to read pretty soon. I just really love this series. It's steamy enough. It is sexy. The black people are successful. They have their own stuff going on. And these side characters, you really care about them enough to want to read books about them. So I'm super excited. I don't know I didn't read the synopsis for the second book, so I'm not exactly sure which sister we're following, but I'm so ready for it. I'm so excited for it. I even signed up for an author event that's happening with the Doc Bookshop in Fort Worth on February 11th with the author, where it's virtual, so don't come for me. And I can't wait to hear Cheris Hodges talk about this. So that is the Richard Sisters. I don't know how many books are going to be in it, but I will be caught up. The first one being Owner of a Broken Heart. Definitely recommend this. The next series I want to talk about is Beverly Jenkins' Women Who Dare series, starting with Rebel. I read this in December. I really did enjoy it, and if you saw I really enjoyed it. If you saw my 5-star predictions, you'll know that I even went in the family that's mentioned in here, the Levesque family. I put the first book in that series on my 5-star predictions, which I'll link up above and down below. This is basically a historical fiction series that takes place during, I want to say it's post-Civil War. It follows different women who who fight the norm. So I love a strong feminist storyline. The next one in the series is Wild Rain. Again, I have an advanced reader copy of it. It comes out February 9th. And I can't wait to get to it because this first book was real good. That one involves a woman who owns a ranch, I want to say. And I'm just like super excited for it. The cover's gorgeous. I really love these books. So this is another series that I am super excited for, that I plan on staying up to date on because I am just loving it. I'm loving it. The audiobook for this one was phenomenal, and I listened to it one day when I was just like cleaning around the house. So definitely highly recommend this. So that is the Women Who Dare series by Beverly Jenkins. Definitely something that you want to pick up. Next book is probably one of the most underrated young adult books, fantasy books that I read last year. I think like B and like one other person have talked about it, but like I super duper enjoyed this book, and that is A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. The second book that's coming out is A Queen of Gilded Horns. There's been a cover redesign, but that's okay because I don't care about my covers matching. I'm not one of those people. Anyway, so what this is a fantasy story that involves two sisters. There's one who's the favorite, one who's not. And what they have to do is that when they both become of age, one of them has to kill the other one in order to become queen. That's how this is done in this queendom. And this just goes through the sisters competing, family history. There's all these different chimeras and other creatures with horns. And listen, there's so much that happens in this. Their book is so well paced. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. The characters are people that you actually care about. And my character crush is in here. He was just delightful. So I can't wait to see how this, I believe it's just a duology, but you know how it can go. Queen of Gilded Horns is released on March 16th. I can't wait for it. I really, if you're listening, publishers, an ARC would be nice. I'll read it. I will. But I really just can't wait to see how this duology ends. And let me know down below if y'all have read this and what you thought about it, because I really just think that this is so underrated, and I really think that more people should be picking this up. So that is A River of Royal Blood. That's the name of the series as far as I was able to find. And definitely, if you haven't picked up this first book, I definitely would recommend this for you to try out. The next one should come as no surprise to you because I have been a Leigh Bardugo fangirl forever, and the only reason why I haven't talked about her on my channel is because I don't have anything else of hers to read. So that is the sequel to King of Scars. This is the Nikolai duology. Nikolai is a character from the first Grisha trilogy, and he does show up in the Six of Crows duology. But the newest book, Rule of Wolves, comes out on March 30th, and this is the conclusion of it. The way that the first book ended, I read it over 2 years ago, and I still remember how that book ended, and I have mixed feelings about it. It feels kind of cheap, but the thing that I love about Leigh Bardugo is that, like, her first books never really are amazing to me, but when I put them up against everything else, the long story is always just so compelling and interesting to me. So that's what I really like about Leigh Bardugo, is that she really crafts her stories. So I'm very interested to see how this last little part is going to go. Super excited about it. I've been begging the publisher for a copy because I want to be one of the cool kids, and I want a copy. And if there's a box, I want a box. I want the PR box. I want all the stuff. I just love this book, and I just can't wait to get to it. And the paperback with the green and gold is just, y'all. Anyway, but that is the Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. Y'all know I'm going to read it. I'm a Leigh Bardugo fangirl. It is what it is. The next one is another series that I don't feel like it's talked about enough. Like, people kind of talked about it, but I really think that this is a really unique series, and I really think more people should read it. I actually have the second book left to read, but the third book does come out in April, and that series is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. This follows, it's like a dual timeline. So our main character, our protagonist, she can go back in time, and that's like her magic skill. All the magicians are trapped on this island, and she is from present day, 2014, 2015, something like that. Anyway, and she can go back in time. She has to go back to the 1920s to try to find this artifact that people are trying to steal because it has meaning. This book, it's slower paced, but the action scenes are captivating, and you really grow to care about the group and the characters that are there. So that's what I really enjoyed about it. I have the second book on my shelf. I want to say it's called The Devil's something. I'll put the book here. But I want to go ahead and read that before April. And then when The Serpent's Curse, which is the third book, and I believe it's the final book in this series, comes out, I want to be ready to read it, because this is so underrated again. And I think that more people should give it a try, because this was a surprise hit for me last year when I read it. So, it's called The Devil's Thief. And that's something that I really want to get to this year, and I'm super excited for the conclusion, because I just can only imagine where this is going. The next one, this is another author that I'm a complete fangirl for. I love her personality. She's one of the few authors that I've met in real life. She was my first book signing when I really got into the book community, so like, she holds a special place in my heart. And that's Susan Dennard. This is the first book in the Witchlands series, and that's Truth Witch. I'm completely caught up on this series. So it's Truth Witch, Wind Witch, Sight Witch, and Blood Witch. I've read all of them. I've loved all of them. This first book follows the Truth Witch, who is Safi, and her best friend Isolde. This goes into female friendship, what you're willing to do for your friends and everything. Wind Witch follows a different character that we meet in this one. Sight Witch goes back in time, and goes back in time, and it's a character that has meaning in the current series, so it's kind of like an offshoot novella type thing. And then Blood Witch, we follow the Blood Witch, who I'm completely in love with him, and I can't wait to do it. The next book was supposed to come out in February. She had to push it back because she just had a baby, and you know, stuff happens. And so she had to push it back to June, and it is called Witch Shadows. So usually all the books tell you which kind of witch you're going to follow. So Witch Shadow, I have no idea who that's going to follow, but there was something budding in Blood Witch that I need to have a conclusion for. I do plan to do a reread of this, probably starting in April or May. Probably starting in April, actually, so I can read like 2 a month and then be ready. Anyway, I'll post it on Twitter if you want to join me. But I want to reread these in preparation for Witch Shadow because I am so excited for that book, and I've been trying to flirt with Teen to, you know, hook a sister up, but you know, I'll just keep flirting. Things might happen, but this is another series that I'm so excited for. This isn't a conclusion. Excuse me. The Witch Shadow is not a conclusion because I believe that Susan Dennard, when I met her right after Sight Witch came out, that she said it's going to be like a 7 or 8 book series. So we get a whole lot more in this world. We're going to meet a whole lot more witches. There's all these different kinds of witches. I really love it. So definitely excited for Witch Shadow coming out in June. The last series I want to talk about are the Wolves of No World series by Romina Garber that started with Lobizona. This was a story about an undocumented immigrant. Keep her hidden. Something happens. Her mom is picked up by immigration and she has to flee for her life. She goes and she ends up at this school for other people like her. But the thing is, usually females are brujas, but she is a Lobizona, which is a werewolf. So that's different. They're trying to figure that out. There were some reveals that happened at the end of that book that I'm glad that it's a continuation. It was so good. It was a surprise sneak hit for me. And Cazadora comes out in August, so I'm super excited for that. I can't wait. Y'all, if you haven't read Lobizona, I definitely would read it. The commentary in that book is so good, and I'm very particular about my commentary because I feel like you don't need to hit us over the head with it, but you can make your point still. So that's exactly what Romina Garber does, and I really enjoyed it. Everything that I have for this video, these are all the series that I want to continue, or series continuations I'm excited for in 2021. Hopefully I can get to all of them. I'm not going to be that ambitious because we know how I am. I read what I want, or I don't read at all. So we'll see what happens. But these are some of the ones. Tell me a series that you're excited that is continuing or completing this year down below in the comments. That's everything I have. Please like, comment, subscribe, or dislike. It's all engagement to YouTube. And follow me on my social medias, Twitter, Instagram, my blog, all of that stuff. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.